According to Delhi police sources, 3 9mm caliber cartridges have been recovered from the site of the car blast near the Red Fort. 2 of these are live cartridges and 1 is an empty shell. So according to police sources, 9mm caliber cartridges have been recovered from the blast site, and it is important to note that 9mm pistols are not permitted for ordinary people. These cartridges are typically used only by the armed forces or police officers. My colleague Arvind Doja continues to stay with us. Arvind, 9mm पिस्टल्स, कैलिबर पिस्टल्स और कार्ट्रिजेस मिले हैं रेड फोर्ट के पास से। अब सवाल ये उठता है कि ये आम आदमी को अलाउड ही नहीं है इन्हें रखना, ये सिर्फ पुलिस ऑफिशियल्स के पास ही होता है, तो ये आखिर पहुंचा कैसे वहां पे?
बिल्कुल, देखिए जो 9mm पिस्टल होती है वो पुलिस या आर्म फोर्सेस ही इस्तेमाल करते हैं। आम लोग ये जो पिस्टल है या इसका कारतूस वो इस्तेमाल नहीं करते हैं। ये लाल किले के पास जब ये I-20 कार में ब्लास्ट हुआ था तभी मिली थी। जो लोकल पुलिस है उसने इंक्वायरी की, किसी लोकल पुलिसकर्मी का जो ये कारतूस है वो मिसिंग नहीं है। अब सवाल ये है कि ये किसका है। क्या जो I-20 कार में ब्लास्ट हुआ उससे जब ब्लास्ट हुआ उसके बाद जाहिर सी बात है I-20 कार के परखच्चे उड़ गए थे, उसमें से ये गोलियां निकली हैं और वो सड़क पर पड़ी हैं। ये दिल्ली पुलिस जांच करा रही है। उसके अलावा और भी जब ये ब्लास्ट हुआ तो बाकी डिस्ट्रिक्ट, बाकी एरिया से भी दिल्ली पुलिस के जो पुलिसकर्मी हैं, ऑफिसर हैं, वो स्पॉट पर पहुंचे थे। तो क्या उनका ये कार्टेजेस है, इसके बारे में इंक्वायरी की जा रही है। लेकिन जाहिर सी बात है क्राइम सीन पर ये कार्टेजेस दिल्ली पुलिस को मिले हैं। जी,
आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया इन सारी जानकारी के लिए। So probe intensifies in Red Fort blast case. News tightens on Faridabad-based Al Falah University, which is at the center of the storm after links emerged between the institution and the Red Fort bomber. But in the latest, we're learning that a 9mm pistol, 9mm caliber cartridges have been recovered from the site of the car blast near the Red Fort. 2 of these are live cartridges and 1 is an empty shell. Now, according to police sources, 9mm caliber cartridges have been recovered from the blast site, and it is also pertinent to note that 9mm pistols are not permitted for ordinary people. These cartridges are typically used only by the armed forces or police officers, and according to sources, the most important thing is that the police did not find any pistol or any part of it at the scene. That is, cartridges for the bullets were found, but the weapon used to fire them has not yet been found. Police sources say that they checked the cartridges of their staff present at the scene and found none missing. The police are now trying to determine how these cartridges arrived and whether they fell from the I-20 car after the blast. So that's the latest that we're getting as far as the Delhi blast probe is concerned. According to Delhi police sources, 3 9mm caliber cartridges have been recovered from the site of the car blast near the Red Fort. And in fact, 2 of these are live cartridges and 1 is an empty shell. Now, it should be noted that 9mm pistols are not permitted for ordinary people. These cartridges are typically used only by the armed forces or police officers, and the most important thing is that the police did not find any pistol or any part of it at the scene. That is, cartridges for the bullets were found, but the weapon used to fire them has not yet been found. Police sources also say that they checked the cartridges of their staff present at the scene and found none missing. So the police are now trying to determine how these cartridges arrived and whether they fell from the I-20 car after the blast. So only the cartridges were found. 2 of these were live cartridges, whereas 1 was empty shell. But the most important part is that the police did not find any pistol or any part of it at the scene. My colleague Shreya Chatterjee is now joining us with more details on this. Shreya, latest development coming in on the Delhi blast that the police have found 9mm caliber cartridges. 2 of these are live, 1 is an empty shell, but the weapon has not yet been found.
Well, this is what the development is coming in, that there was a live cartridge that was also there with the accused of the Delhi terror blast, and this is a development that comes in as the investigation progresses into the terror blast case. What we do know that this is a fresh development that is coming in. It's a 9mm cartridge is what we are understanding, but as of now, because investigation is following, there has been no a sign or no availability of a 9mm pistol. And this cartridge has been recovered from the spot near the Redcoat car blast site. Out of these, two are live cartridges, one is empty. And they are saying that civilians are usually not allowed to possess 9mm pistols. And that is the reason these are cartridges which are generally used by police in the personal enforcement. That is the biggest point, that police did not find any pistol or any part at the spot. So clearly, the police sources now suggest there's a possibility that the accused had live cartridges, and they are now trying to find how these cartridges actually ended up actually tracing back at the site of the I-20 car blast.
So, Shreya, is it possible that Umar planned a mass shooting after the attack?
There's been no recovery of a pistol. It is not possible to deduce to a point, but we clearly do know that this is a live cartridge that they have found. How it is lead there, that is something which still needs to be investigated. Probably he was carrying a live cartridge. He did not have a pistol, because without a recovery of the same or a trace of the remnants, because we understand the blast intensity was also huge. Probably in that blast intensity, the pistol may have been damaged, melted, whatever, but there could have been remnants at least, because there's been quite some round of forensic analysis that's already taken place at the spot. So given that understanding, we probably will have to wait for some more time to actually understand whether we at all carried a pistol, because that point has still not been deduced. But a live cartridge has been found, and this is also being investigated by the police.
Right, Shreya, another important point to note is that these 9mm pistols are usually used by the police officers and the army. So how did these cartridges reach the blast spot?
That's exactly the reason why it is a matter of concern, that how does a 9mm pistol cartridge actually reach the accused, or in fact reach an individual who is still yet to be found out, because clearly it is difficult to understand that how did a 9mm cartridge actually find. And this is a discovery that happened on the day of the blast. It was found by one of the local eyewitnesses, and then it was handed over to the police, because a 9mm cartridge is not something which is usually carried by an individual. It's used by people in forces. It's used by people in police. So that is the reason why this investigation is even more critical, even more important. But it's still far to deduce that whether the accused carries a pistol, because the remnants of the same hasn't yet been traced. There have been multiple rounds of forensic analysis that's been done, be it by the local FSL, be it by the central FSL. So clearly we have to wait for some more time, and then we will get a more clarity that whether the accused at all carried a pistol, because these are things that are going to be investigated. There are call data dumps that are being right now taken. His locations are being mapped. So if at all in the process of the investigation surfaces that he did purchase or he had access to a 9mm pistol, then probably we will get more clarity on what his entire plan of this terror attack was.
All right, Shreya, thank you for getting us those details.